right. Good evening, traders. Let's go ahead and do a beautiful audio and sound check. How's everybody doing? Sunday evening. What a beautiful evening. We're starting out. Hopefully everybody got some nice rest, have been able to relax, take a break from the markets. Yep, sounds good. Video's good. Awesome. Got resistance at 497. Yeah, it's going to be a nice relaxed session. It's Sunday night. Most likely it's going to, I usually end early on Sundays, about an hour from, what time is it? It is 7:30 till 8:30. You missed me. Sometimes it feels good to have a nice weekend. I know the life of a trader is you don't really do much on the weekend and you're excited for the markets to open. I know I was like that for a while, for a very long time, is you're excited for the markets to open Sunday night or Monday morning, depending on where you're at around the world. And then you kind of just jump into it. So anyway, let's get back to it. As always, there's our Topstep risk disclosure in the YouTube chat. If you have any questions or concerns, read that. It's not a signals class. I know we get traders all the time who just, I don't know, for some reason they feel like they want to follow or copy trade or whatever. Then they get all mad or butthurt because it's the reality of it. Traders, you could, what do they call it? Lead a horse to water, but you cannot make them drink, and all those fun analogies and those famous sayings. But let's dive into it. It's Sunday night. We had a very crazy week last week. Everyone's seeing all the news, the major sell-off. Everyone's, are we going into another one of the beginning of August situation where we've had a huge sell-off and everyone panics? This week is the start of football Sunday, and I know there's a lot of NFL football games that's going on. Unfortunately, my Green Bay Packers suffered a pretty devastating loss by way of injury, which I'm sure Eddie and the team, I have a bet with going with Eddie, and it's not looking too great for my Green Bay Packers. So, I haven't looked at the markets yet. I am watching. This is as raw as it gets, right? You guys get to see the markets the same time I do. We had Nick for a tick on a little bit earlier, so he was on as earlier. What was it? As the markets were open Sunday night, so that was great to get and watch it. I caught some of that, and now we're transitioning to what is it? We have. I'm trying to think. It's Sunday for me. Okay, guys, let's take a look at the news coming up for the week. We're always waiting on some kind of news. There isn't anything. That's what I thought. I was trying to see if there was any big news tomorrow, and we don't. We don't have any major news tomorrow. We don't have any major news really Tuesday. I mean, let me know if I'm wrong. We have CPI coming out on the 11th, and that's not until Wednesday. And if you guys missed it, I know Topstep sent out some emails. I'm going to be taking over TopstepTV. It's not just going to be me by myself. I'm going to be leading it. I'm going to be driving it. We have other team members. We have, Coach Jay. We could try getting Rips. And then, of course, Steve and Nick for a tick and everybody while I am driving it. It's going to be a lot going on from my aspect in terms of running a show and then being here from start to finish. Just because I'm taking over, I'm going to be doing every single segment. I don't know. I'm not going to be able to be as good as they are, but we're going to have some fun. I don't know if I could get the permissions to do a house account. Of course, I'm always on favor of getting some house account trades on with Nick for a tick and some of the other members, but I'm going to be very busy. And of course, I'm going to be doing slow markets. I don't want to, not do anything, especially, treating everybody here that has been very loyal to slow markets. I'm not going to step back from that yet, even though it's going to be a very busy and a long drawn out week for those 3 days. It's going to be the 11th, 12th, and 13th. If you guys are not aware, Topstep is going to be having some meetings, having some company meetings, and so I will be taking over TopstepTV, and yeah, it's going to be fun. Bull, I'm going to be burnt out after running today's show. No, Bull, I will not be burnt out. Trust me, I do a whole lot more behind the scenes on a normal day-to-day basis. It's going to be pretty relaxing for me, I guess. Being able to, trade in front of you guys and be able to have everybody here is not very stressful on my end. So I will not get burnt out. That's a guaranteed fact. I do so much outside of it. I usually get about 5 to 6 hours of sleep on a regular basis. And I've planned out this. I've cut a lot of what I'm doing behind the scenes off. So I'm going to actually get more sleep, and it's going to be more relaxing. Work on that house account? Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be an interesting week. That's for sure. Tomorrow is normal. The following day is normal, but Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday is going to be very fun. Guys, yeah, let's get to it. Here's the Nasdaq. Here is the Nasdaq on the daily chart. Let's get through our rapid fire, move on to gold, and then we'll finish off with some questions. I know traders have tons of questions, and we have some amazing moderators. If you do have those questions, just put it in the chat. Don't spam it, and then our moderator will be able to send it to me. Any of the questions that I do miss. Now, that being said, near the end of class, I will go through maybe 1 or 2 trader statistics. So feel free to send it to me in the Topstep Discord in my channel. What are we looking at going into this week? You guys know me, I'm bullish, but do we see a continuation down here to test these lows? I don't know. Let's get your guys' opinion. Let's do a poll in the chat. Let's start it off with a poll. NQ positive or negative for the week? Let's see what the chat thinks. I'm going to say positive. We'll just do green or red. We'll go green or red. I'm really curious. And I'm going to show you guys something because I'm trying to prove a point. There you go. Thank you, Andrew. Andrew coming in clutch with the link to the Topstep Discord. So there's the poll. Vote in the poll. I'm curious. I'm pretty sure it's going to be around 50-50. I'm on the green side, of course. I'm always on the green side. Coach Dakota, positive for 3 weeks like last year's chart. Not sure what you mean by that, Greg. Guys, let's see. Red, this is so easy. Day trader, you always feel like it's very easy, right? It's far from that. Trust me. It's not as easy as a lot of traders. But we could see a retracement to start the week off. We're actually seeing that tonight. Sunday open, and we've seen a lot of buyers step in. We failed to break Friday's low so far. Now the session's very early. It's the start. This is low volatility. This is slow markets. The Asian session is open, and let's take a look. This is the daily chart on the Nasdaq, and going into this week, it's going to be interesting. Are we going to get down here and see 18,000, or are we going to rally back up towards 19,000? We are right in between those two key levels. First thing I'm watching, we have a lot of support and resistance here, right just under that 19,000 level. And of course, we had those 2 days of consolidation. We did break down, and immediately we sold off to the next area. This is a key area of support. We've found some buyers there before. This is a zone, right? Everything's a zone. And here we are, and we're starting to find some buyers here at the beginning of Sunday session. If we zoom into an hourly chart, you can see it. It's it's clear and obvious, right? We broke down. It looked like at the very beginning we started to rally, and it was everyone was looking at this market, including myself. Are we going to get back up towards 19,100 and start breaking higher? We did not. We ended up selling off. We broke through, and it was a very, very red day on Friday. And here we are the last 3 hours. I mean, basically since we opened up, we gapped up. You can see where we closed down here. We didn't even, let's maybe we'll zoom in. I'll zoom in and I'll talk about that a little bit more. But first of all, there's a lot of resistance here at the end of the New York session. Most of the day was holding below 18,540s. I could really see us, maybe between now and the London session coming up to test these. We almost tested 18,500 already, so I could really see us maybe coming to test these mid 500s between now and tomorrow, the London session to now and tomorrow morning, before the New York session opens up. An interesting thing is this was a lot of support. This was a lot of support here during the New York session. And then right after the close, we broke down. And then immediately we started, we gapped up and we rallied, and we're already back inside this zone. And so the fact that we've made it back inside this zone is looking very positive. I would love now for us to at least come test some of these highs from the New York session. I mean, this is a lot of volatility for a slow market session. We're already up, man, where are we at? We're already up over 100 points from where we closed. You can see the gap up and then just the last 3 hours. Let me zoom in on a 5-minute chart, and I could do a little more of an in-depth analysis here from where we finished off. And you can see there's a lot of clear rejection up here in this zone around these mid 500s. And this is what I was talking about. This held as good support during the New York session on Friday. Again, once, twice. And then there was some support near power hour at the close, right at the close. And then as soon as the market closed, we sold off. And then we gapped up on Sunday. We tried to fill the gap not once. We tried to fill the gap twice, but we failed to fill the gap. And then we just found a lot of buyers. Of course, support becomes resistance. And then, resistance, it became support once more. And so this is a very strong area of support and resistance. We'll see if this will hold, and maybe we rotate and find these, lower to mid 500s. It's going to be interesting to watch. If we do break below, then of course, where would we go from there? And I'm looking from this. I'm trying to look from it from the bearish perspective to see if we break down, where could we go? Right here. This is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing right around 18,080s to, it's a zone again, right? These are some big zones when we start looking at this. 18,070 to 18,080. This is an interesting area if we do start to sell off today, where we could come. And then the next one would maybe be, 17,900, because we've seen some support and resistance there. It's weird that we're already looking back. This was such a big sell-off on Friday, or last week was such a big sell-off. So these would be the two areas of support if we do start to sell off. And then, of course, worst case scenario, if we do make it down to 17,500 to 17,400, that would be very interesting. I would be very curious if we do get down below 17,400, and if we do break that, this market can get very scary, because if we're looking at the daily perspective, and if we come back down to this area, 17,500s this week, and we break this, that is going to be a very key technical change in the market. If we're looking at pure market technicals in terms of like higher highs and higher lows, you can still justify this being a higher low, right? If we're looking at from a longer term perspective, and I was looking at this over the weekend saying, whenever we get these pullbacks or these sell-offs in this market, then, technically, can you say that this is a higher low? Sure. This would have been preferred, right? This is looking a lot more bullish. and we did break this one. It just depends on what your view is of what a higher low is on these big, deep pullbacks. So if this was going to be a higher low and the market does come down and test this and we start to break through, then from a technical perspective, the next level that I would realistically see is going to be close to these 16,000s. Like we could see 16,000s, and this is looking for a longer or a higher term perspective. Do I think we would get there? I mean, as a bull trader, no. But that's realistic. Coming back down towards seeing these 16,000s would be more realistic, and it can start to get scary. I know there's a lot of conversation and a lot of talk that we now are starting to see. I know Peter Tuchman on Friday was talking about, the same exact thing. I don't really pay too much attention to it. Where is the Fed behind the curve, right? Is the Fed too late? They should have been reducing interest rates last month or this or that. And there's been a lot of conversation, and maybe that's what's brought a lot of the fear to this market. I remember I don't trade based off of that. I like to trade the price action and just my style of trading. And over the past week, I've been trying to prove a point, and I will show you what I'm trying to do. Fed is always late. Hey, I don't mind that, to be honest. I don't mind if the Fed is late. I don't mind if the Fed is dramatic. It brings volatility in the market. And as day traders, we love volatility. Volatility is what we trade, and that's what makes us money. You could buy and sell these futures, and you can make money going short, and you can make money going long. And if I was to tell you over the past week, I've made all of my money going long, I don't think anybody would believe me. Is that if I show somebody this chart and saying, during this period of time that you see on my chart, from basically the end of August, I think it was even like August here. So during this period of time, I've made all my money buying this. Getting in long. And I know a lot of traders wouldn't believe me, and I think this is a good point to prove. And I think this was a conversation I started in Discord and with a few other traders where it's like, man, you're so biased. You're going to lose money. You're going to lose money. Blow your account because you're holding on to a long bias, and all you're doing is looking to get long during this market, during obviously these major sell-offs. And it's like, from an easy perspective and through hindsight, yeah, it's a lot easier just to sell it and then hold it, sell it, hold it, sell it, hold it. I just really suck at selling these markets. I'm really horrible at shorting the market. I'm not afraid to admit it. I suck at selling the market. And I think that was a cool tool that was talking about on Friday, the inverse your charts. I haven't tried it out. It's something that I might look at from just like the way you view the market. It's like, well, what was it? You guys probably know what it was, where you could reverse the chart, and then, if you suck at shorting this market, you could look at it from turn your monitor upside down. I thought that was interesting, but I wanted to show you guys this. So here's my trading for the last week. Or let's do the last week, September. And I just wanted to point this out because I truly believe that risk management is far superior than anything else in managing money. We are risk managers at the end of the day. It doesn't matter whether you're buying or selling. It doesn't matter if you like to buy more often than you sell or vice versa. Risk management at the end of the day is absolutely the most important thing. You could be a buyer in a market that's selling off, and you could be a seller in the market that's rallying, and you could be completely wrong in market direction. Risk management will always be your friend. And so this is great. And I think I'm going to continue to try and do this going forward. And, here has been my trading. Now, this has been copy traded amongst these 5 accounts. All 5 of these accounts are identical. And if we look at these trades, they're all to the long side. So at first, I didn't even pay attention, and I was thinking about it. And then after I started thinking and pointing it out, then I made that decision to say, you know what? What would happen if I only take longs in my account and then I make the leaderboard only buying the market while this market's selling off? And so I'm going to continue to do that. There is one where I got into a short, and this one was a misclick. You can see misclick, it just in and out. So the only short was a misclick on my end where I tried to close out a position and it entered me in one, but they were all long. Like every single one of these trades, the direction is to the long side. Other than that one misclick, which, man, that sucks. That I everything 100% long. And so I'm going to continue to do this for the rest of the month. And I want to see how these results are. And I mean, you can see I was trading micros. I was trading micros on Friday because Friday was a mess. And I was, you guys understand. But yeah, only long side, and to show that risk management is so much more important than anything else in this market. Anyway, I think I went in too long. I could talk more about that later, but let's see what the market has in store for us this week. Hopefully a lot more volatility. No major news events tomorrow, unless you guys see or know something that I don't. I wouldn't be surprised. And yeah, maybe we could start to see a lot more calmness to this market in terms of, all the fear, this major selling. Maybe we could start to build some positive momentum, going to the long side and see what happens. But great start to the week. We are positive. We're up 140, 150 points from the low of Friday. And it looks like we're continuing to, maybe find some bullish momentum starting off, right? These are higher lows, making higher highs. Looks like we just made another higher low, possibly. But let's see if we could manage to break above these 500 and test the afternoon. And then who knows, maybe some type of a pullback from the bearish perspective. This would be, maybe in the first zone that I would look for the market to rally up. If we do start to rally, there's going to be a lot of people looking to short this. That could be some opportunities to get in short. And then of course here, this was the first area of support resistance at the start around, 18,600s, 18,641. I'm curious, what does the Topstep daily levels say? Okay, Topstep daily levels, where are we at? We're below all of them. Yeah, all the Topstep daily levels are up there. Most likely this will update tomorrow. So we're below everything. It makes sense that there's some daily levels right there at that pivot. That was a crazy day. That Friday was a really crazy day. But we're starting to buy, right? Let's see how tomorrow comes in for that. Let's move on. Crude oil, let's go on to that. I like to start off the hourly chart with crude. We got to $68 a barrel tonight. Oh, wow. Friday is when we got to that. Let me look at the daily. So this is an interesting spot for crude. $68 a barrel. That was kind of where I was looking, 68 to 67. We did come down and test this, right? This was the area. We did come down. We touched it. 67, looks like 67.20, 67, yeah, pretty dang close to 67 even. Do we start looking for longs? I would not be opposed to it. You still have a threat. I mean, a threat as in like there's a lot of wicks, right? There's a lot of wicks in this area from 67 down to 63. So it still is a little bit scary if we break down below 67. And you can see there's these nice wicks. If we do see something like that, then yeah, it would make sense to me to start looking for the longs in crude. If anything, I wouldn't be opposed for looking for longs in this zone anyway. As day traders here at Topstep, yeah, this could be an area where your bias could start to change, where we've sold off. We hit 67, 66, waiting for some type of big reversal in this zone. However, it's still a little bit, crude oil is more scary to buy right now because of these wicks, where we could have just a spike down and a sell-off down to, what, 64? That's a wick on the daily chart. Yeah, that's a big gap, actually, where we gapped all the way down there, and then we filled it, and then we're seeing some consolidation. I would like to see some consolidation down here, even a lot more than what we've seen. Looks like on the 5th we consolidated, we sold off. Let's see on the hourly chart. Yeah, on the hourly chart, very similar to the Nasdaq. There's a 3-bar reversal everyone is always asking about, right? There's the 3-bar reversal right there. That is the reversal candle, hammer, whatever you want to call it. And we reversed, and sure enough, we've been starting to rally. It's going to be interesting to see how we react if we do get back up towards $69 a barrel. 69, do we reject off of it? If not, and we start to break above 69, then yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if we can accept there. And then, of course, we do see a nice downtrend. That's actually really clean. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people watching this as well. Is maybe we just see something like this, right? A retest of that, or a rejection, or if we can find a reason to, find higher lows and higher highs, and then a break of this and get back up into $70 a barrel. Either way, I don't really want to be trading crude right now. I would much rather wait for more consolidation and then either look for a long, or I would wait for a pullback and then get in short. It's hard to sell the market already down here. Like, the market's sold off really fast, and I don't want to be a seller down here at 68, 67. I would rather be a buyer after some consolidation or after some better structure. I mean, maybe if we do rally up into up higher, and then we could look for a short crude, but I don't really want to be even trading crude oil tonight, or maybe tomorrow if there's better market structure. Next, let's take a look at Nikkei real quick, and then we'll move on to gold, because we have 2 minutes till 8 p.m. This is Nikkei. Nikkei is just as ugly as the Nasdaq. That was a 4% sell-off here on the Nikkei on Friday, and I'm just seeing this now. Wow, that is 4 3/10. That was from 36,700 all the way down to 34,000. Let me zoom out and let's take a look at this. What a sell-off. That was even worse than the Nasdaq, right? We just destroyed this little area of support and resistance. 36,000. There was a lot of resistance here that became support, and it looks like we had a little bit of support there where we got a bounce, and then we just sold right through that. And it doesn't. We have not much of a reason to buy it here. 35,000 looks like there's some support there. I don't want to touch Nikkei. That is ugly. That is a lot ugly. Let's just wait. I'm on the sideline to just saying wait. Let's see how Monday is. Let's see how the New York session on Monday is. I don't plan on taking any trades tonight. Things are just a little bit too on edge for me, especially on all these markets. Gold looking pretty heavy. We sold off down to, 25.14. Is this a pullback? And now are we getting this continuation right now? We do have, it's 8 p.m. right now. Let's see if we could zoom in and find an opportunity to trade this. Are we selling off? It looks like we just broke. It looks like we just broke this support zone. We're trying to hold it. And do we see a rotation back down to 21? And then maybe these 15s. That is a possibility. It is 8 p.m. Let's watch. Let's watch gold. What's the significance of 8 p.m.? So 8 p.m. Central, we see a spike in volatility here in gold, or at least we have. The past week, it hasn't been too great. It's been pretty dang choppy, but let's watch it. We're seeing a lot of volatility in the markets last week. Not as great here in gold, but we did start breaking this. As you can see, there's a lot of resistance there on Friday, and a lot of resistance here tonight, right around this 25.27, 25.25 to 25.27 is an interesting zone. And so we could see a sell-off. We could see 25.20s. Maybe we could come down and test these 25.16s, and who knows, maybe we could test 2,500 even. But let's watch this together, and if there is a decent trade setup, we'll go ahead and take it. Missed my long at 483. You're talking about the Nasdaq. 483. Go through that. Sings. That was a rejection. Let's watch it. A decent play on gold has been waiting for the initial move. At 8 p.m. And right at 8 p.m., sometimes we see a nice initial move, and then we take a reversal. So after the initial move, maybe a reversal. Let's watch this. Yeah, you missed it. We'll watch. We shall watch. We're going to watch all markets, not just gold. There's been opportunity in all these markets. I mean, take a look at the Nasdaq, right? Just tonight, we've seen a lot of volatility tonight. We're up over 100 points in the Nasdaq. I mean, these have been big moves, so it's not too surprising. We could scout. There's opportunities for profit, right? That's a 70-point move. We could very realistically see a good 10, 20-point trade show up. So I'm going to be watching all markets. And if you guys see something, if you see a market moving, just shout it out. I don't mind. I'm going to watch gold on a 5-minute. 1 minute has not been too great. If we do break above this resistance, the next level can very realistically be these 30s again. There's a lot of support that came here. And so if we do break out, then maybe 25.30s would be realistic tonight. On the higher, did we see a higher time frame on gold? Yeah, we did. Maybe a test. Man, gold's still in such a bullish market, though. Gold is still in a bullish market. I was looking at gold Friday night on the daily, and on the daily chart, it's still really bullish. I mean, you look at this market and it's going up and to the right, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do get a sell-off. But this was resistance, and it's holding as support, and I'm still liking the 2600s on gold. I mean, I don't know the time frame there, but that 2600, it's right there. Let me see. Maybe we could just watch Nasdaq. Nasdaq's just been, even getting in long it fits my it fit this, right? Getting in long in the Nasdaq. Let's get to some questions. Let's get to some questions. Like I said, if you would like me to review some of your statistics, you know where to submit it. But yeah, can you show us what you've seen to take those long trades? How can you enter multiple separate positions? Okay, what do I see to take this long trade? We're watching Nasdaq breakout here. Let's kind of want to just get in to a couple, because we're breaking above this 500 level, and I do see us getting to the maybe 520. Yeah, maybe up here 520, 530 is possible. Yeah, I'm not going to chase this. That was the trade, a break back above these 500s to the long side. So far, so good tonight. Wow. This is on a 1-minute chart. This is on a much smaller time frame. We could even use a 100 tick chart. These are on micros, right? These are micros, and sometimes you could see how clean this 100 tick chart is. All these higher lows and these higher highs. But let me talk about, yeah, what did I see? What did I see Friday to get into my trades to the long side? I mean, it was what everybody else was looking at, right? Basically, after the morning, we just went sideways, and all I was looking to do was, looking to buy the lows and sell the highs, and that's all it was. I did on Friday. I did end up getting into a long. I don't know exactly where it was. I think it was a breakout. I got whipsawed in here, and then I got in long here again and caught some of that. But it's the same stuff you guys see me do every single night. Is very basic, very simple technical analysis of looking for technical patterns, looking to get in, get out. Crude oil is breaking out to the long side. Let's see. Yeah, wow, crude oil is that fair enough to say catching a bid? I know it looks a lot different on a, yeah, crude oil is breaking out. So yeah, we could realistically see maybe we could test the 69s. These 69s are pretty dang realistic. Yeah, crude's, man, it rejected. That is fair to say that was a higher low, right? Higher low. We rejected that, and we can see a continuation. Maybe we see 69 really soon. 69 could be in the cards. Heck, maybe we see 69 tonight. Yeah, 69. Yep. Let's see. I'm gonna continue to watch I'm gonna continue to watch the Nasdaq. I'm gonna see if there's going to be a trade. I'm really wanting to get in long. But let's see. Let's watch, see if there's a trade. Lots of oil tankers got hit over the weekend. Oh, yeah, political and geo. World news, world events can definitely have a much bigger effect on crude oil. Yeah, Mitchell, I knew that you guys are going to catch that and ask those questions. Always taking out my stop loss. Okay, here's a good question. Dakota, I always take out my stop loss as soon as I enter a trade and it's killing me. Can you explain and help? Are you saying the market's taking your stop loss out? You guys, we're going to watch the Nasdaq here together. We'll see if there's a trade. What I would like to take a long on a pullback, right? Every single one of these higher lows has been a great trade by the dip. So, yeah, we're going to see. We're going to see if this trend tonight will hold. Because that was one heck of a gap. We'll see if this trend will hold. And we'll take small positions. Market's rigged. UCL trade. I don't know about that. Sometimes it feels like the market's rigged. Let me go through. If you guys do share your statistics, put some level of, put a description. The more of a description, the better it is for me if I'm going to review your statistics. Yeah, I'm just going through reading some of this right now. We're going to watch this. Then you guys could answer ask me some more questions of this. I take out my own stop loss. I learned to trade risk parameters on Topstep so it doesn't show up on my charts. I set it to liquidate. Yeah, I'm actually liking a long here as well. Let's go ahead and test out. These are just micros. We're going to go ahead and do our regular journaling. Let's do it. Let's do our journal. Oh, man, that got me in 1. I wanted to get into 5. That should have been 5. That should have been 5. Continue to get used to the tools. Look, yeah, this, you can see this. I thought it was queued up for 5. Dang it. Well, that was it. Let's Well, damn. Don't you just hate when that happens? That happens to me a lot. Let's go ahead and set that, and we'll just trade this. 5, 1, 0. I mean, it doesn't matter the thing. You always wish you had more on. Let's see how this trade plays out. We'll see if we can get a break into these 20s. See if we could get to like, actually, you know what? I'm not going to put a take profit on this. We're going to scalp this. Do you ever use trailing stop? I manually trail it. I like to manually trail this. Herds freaks? Sometimes, yeah. It seems like it's been doing that, but then it's also just completely turned around. It's almost, it's kind of weird. Every time you get in, the market bounces. I'm pretty decent at timing and getting in long, but I absolutely suck at shorting the market. Even though it's the same thing, it really is the same. Long, short, it's the same exact process. For some reason, I'm just a lot better at getting in long than I am short. That's just me. It really is. It's a me thing. Even though it's the same thing, the same exact process. Yeah, what was that shortcut to flip your charts? Does it work here? Coach Hoop says flip your chart. Yeah, let's see. Have a positive outlook. How do you flip your charts? Anybody in chat know how to? Alt-I. All right, if this is just some bad shortcut. Oh, there we go. There you go. Does that flip? See, this might screw me over. This might screw me up because now does the buy and sell. Let's see. Buy market. Buy. This will screw me up, guys. This will screw the heck out of me. Let's see this. Yeah, you'd be buying, right? So so that would be like a buy. Yeah, okay. But you can see, right? If your chart's flipped upside down, it's the same thing. You sell a pullback, sell a pullback, sell a pullback, and have the market break down. Wow, that looks so weird. That looks way weird. It's the same exact process. You told me about it while we was in Discord. You probably did. Here we go. This market's just selling off. I'm gonna try this out. Yeah, this is hurting my brain. It's gonna screw me up. All right, how do I get out of this? Control. That's how I would short a market. I mean, this is the exact same thing, right? It just looks so different. It looks so different. The inverted chart, yeah. I'm looking at this now. How do I buy this market? Now, MP posed that question, right? When you want to get long, try and convince yourself to go short, or at least give the opposite thesis, right? If I'm looking to get long or short, go through and talk about the opposite thesis. Yeah, I get it and I understand it. Yeah, this is weird. This is really weird. I mean, at first, the way I would analyze this is there's a lot of resistance here. Technically, this is a lot of support, right? This is support. It's not resistance. And so I would move my stop loss to there. I would get long, right? So if I'm looking at this inverse chart, yeah, to me, I would probably try and get in long if we break above. If we break below 505, and looking at this chart is, yeah, if we break through this, man, I'm even having trouble talking. Break above, right? Because we're not breaking above when the chart's inverted. We're breaking below. If this breaks through 505, then it would look like it would continue from a technical standpoint. And so since the chart is inverted, then it would mean what? Get short. This is going to screw me up. I'm going back. Let's see. Yeah, see, there we go. Now that's normal. So from that perspective, yeah, break below this, I could see us having continuation down. Interesting. Yeah, even yeah, I see what happened, Coach Jay. That's what's going to happen. We're going to be on TopstepTV when I do a takeover, and Dakota's going to have inverted charts, and I'm going to be all screwed up. I'm going to think I'm getting in long 10 contracts, and I'm getting in short. Maybe that's a good way to just inverse myself. DLX, why are we looking at inverted charts? Because I'm so used to getting long, and I'm such a better buyer of markets than I am a seller. And so we were just having that. We had that kind of a continuation conversation from Friday. Friday we had that in that conversation in depth. Let's say the market's going up and you're thinking about taking a long with a trend at the next pullback, but the pullback is still going. What are you doing in that situation? That's what a stop loss is for, right? Where if you're trying to get long in a pullback, and if the pullback keeps pulling back, you do have to have a stop loss, and you have to have a area of invalidation, right? And so for me, this could be an area of invalidation. And as the market started to pull back, if we broke below this or we broke below this previous pivot, then the trade's no longer valid. And so right now, if we break below this 504, or you could have an argument of 495, then the trade is no longer valid. And to me, it looks like I'm just going to close this out. Let's get out of there. So you do have to have a point of invalidation. So you're not just buying because the market's selling off. You're buying a pullback, right? And then you have to determine yourself when the trade becomes invalid. And that could be, the way that I like to use it is a break of the previous support and resistance. And so the fact that we had a little bit of support here at, say, 498 was valid. And then if we did break below 489, maybe even 478, then I'm out. I'll close the trade. And this one, very much similar thing, right? If we had the inverted chart, this was support. There's a lot of buyers stepping in right around, these 506s. And as soon as we broke through that, I'm saying it's no longer worth it for me to be in this market because we just broke down below that level. And as we was talking about this inverted chart, right? I'm a lot better at buying this market, and it's fair to say that, if this was a breakout and we broke through that, then I'm going to look for this market to continue in that direction. And it's an interesting perspective, right? We broke through, we broke out, we're kind of consolidating. Are we going to pull back, test it? And then are we going to have that continuation? And maybe we test, 18490s, 18480s. I don't know. This is an interesting perspective to have these inverted chart. But for me, it's about probabilities and risk reward. As soon as we broke through that, then it's not worth it. I'm locked in profit. What do we get? 8 ticks from that? It wasn't a lot. How do we get a tick chart on this platform? Right here, just tick charts, right? Tick charts on Topstep X. Yeah, hopefully that makes sense. And at the end of this, we could. This is now looking like a possibility, right? Maybe that was the pivot. Now, we're starting to break down. You just never know what's going to happen. You just need to understand your risk reward. You need to understand the probabilities and your own trading and validation, because we could have very well held that and kept going up. But as soon as we broke below this, it's like, okay, well, I know statistics and the odds and understanding, my own trading, and that trade was invalid. Even though I got in here and I was in money, it wasn't worth holding. Just close it out. Do you have a training or session video that I can watch? Elizabeth, all of my videos are recorded. All my live slow markets are recorded, and every single night I answer questions. So I would say, and I would strongly recommend, if you have questions, just tune in every night for slow markets and ask questions. But there will be more stuff coming out. Like I said, I'm working on a lot of stuff with Topstep behind the scenes, finding ways to improve, helping traders from different skill sets because we have traders from around the world. We have traders with different levels of skill sets, right? We have traders who's been trading for 20 plus years. We've had traders for 10, 2 years, 5 years, 1 year. And then we also have traders who are absolutely brand new and they've never traded before. And I really wanted to, cater to the brand new traders because I'm getting a lot of questions, right? Like, what is a 3-bar reversal? What is this? What's this? And I do not want to, brush them off because they are the ones that I'm wanting to help everybody, but, it wouldn't be fair to somebody who's been trading for 5 years for me to cover some of the basics. They'll get bored. And then vice versa. It wouldn't be fair for the brand new traders for me to go into advanced strategies because they would have no idea what I'm talking about. And so, yeah, stay tuned, guys. That's all I'm going to say is stay tuned. There's more to come. Wherever you're at in your trading journey, I am going to find a way to answer your guys' questions and hopefully provide the most value for each level or skill set or whatever you want to say. Yeah, see, that was just a higher low. So if I closed out my trade here because we broke below, and if you would have had a stop loss below this pivot, then yeah, I would still be in the trade if my stop loss was here. I was okay with my stop loss being basically below this, which is also very valid. It's just understanding, right? Because you do run the risk of getting stopped out from down here versus being stopped out from here. But then that's always the question that we always need to be asking ourselves and, constantly, improving and changing and adjusting as the market adjusts. Because if you have a more loose stop loss, the odds of the market, giving the market some room to move can be worth it. But then, you're giving up some profit because this market could have kept selling off and I would have taken a loss instead of, a scratch trade or making 8 ticks on that, or 4 ticks. I think that's, 4 ticks. I don't know. This is easier than regular trading hours. It's all about perspective. Now, remember, this is still a little bit more volatile than I'm used to during this time of night. This time of night is slow markets. It's the Asian session. And, this is a very, very consistent. Maybe consistent is not the right word. Usually it's more slow. Okay, tonight, and because we've seen a lot of volatility in the market, and this is just kind of going up and to the right, trending, and one can say it's easier, right? I get and I can understand that, where you could just buy dips and we're kind of just trading in a channel, but typically you don't see this kind of volatility. This is usually less volatile. So instead of 10 point, 20 point moves, it's usually like 5 or 6 points, and it's not worth trading, in my opinion. It makes more sense now. It has lots of rooms to claw back. I like to find enough. Richard, yeah. Let's go on to some slow market concepts, okay? Because I'm a slow markets trader, and a slow market concept that I love, that I learned, and what I talk about the most is placing orders and letting them run overnight. Now, that being said, I love to leave orders overnight, and I like to leave trades overnight. That is where I've made my bread and butter. That's where I have the most success in my own trading. That's how I learned how to trade. And so let's go through it. I like to stay on higher time frames. So an hourly chart is where I look for very basic support and resistance. This was one that I was looking at. We was talking about that. This is a key level of resistance. And then, of course, down here, right around that level is a key area of support. And we did have that nice sell-off down there. We've gapped up. We're right back into this range. And so what I am looking for is if we break through this resistance, we can very well have a pullback from what we've seen on Friday. And so if we zoom into the market and if we look at this 5-minute chart and we do the analysis, there's 2 ways that I would be okay with trading this. is I can look. Now, you remember I was joking about the reverse, right? The inverse chart. There are opportunities, if you're bearish, to sell this market. We're coming up to a resistance zone. Like, this is resistance. There is a realistic opportunity to say, I want to sell if we get into this zone. Say you're looking to sell it at 18,526. Then I would look to take profit if we get back down to the bottom of this zone. So it's like, I'm going to sell here at 18,526, and I'm going to have a take profit at 18,440. And then my stop loss is going to be above that resistance zone. So this is just an example. You guys know that I did the Topstep risk disclosure. It's not a signals class. This is purely an example. And I do set trades up like this all the time. So you can say, I want to put a sell limit. If we do get up here, this will get me in short. I'm going to have my stop loss right there. And then I'm going to look for a take profit back down at the bottom of this. A more preferred that I would actually like is, we like to run liquidity. It's a lot harder for me to put limit orders because the Nasdaq could be volatile and we could see some very volatile moves. Is maybe we look at something like this. Maybe we could put a sell limit at an area of resistance, and maybe we look. Can the Nasdaq get up to 640? That's kind of stretching it for an overnight trade because I want this trade to be triggered and finished by London session. So maybe we look for maybe a run of liquidity of 558s up above here, and then I could have my stop loss maybe at another level of resistance, and I'm looking at this a little bit. So something like this is also valid. If you're not looking to do a sell limit, another option I also like is using a stop order. So that means you're getting in as the market's going in your favor, and it's basically the same thing. You look for very basic support and resistance. The first one I'm seeing is, look, there's a lot of support that happened right there. And between now and tomorrow, I'm going to set this as just an example. It's a sell stop. And so let me just do this as an example. So sell stop right there. And what this is saying is if we break back down below, this will trigger me into a short. And then I would put a stop loss, say above this consolidation, maybe even a little bit tighter, and then I would look to take profit down here back near a level of support or resistance. And typically stop orders, I like to do a 1-to-1 risk reward. This one looks like it meets that criteria. It's a little bit better than a 1-to-1, and I will only get triggered in if we break below that. I like stop orders a lot better on the Nasdaq because the Nasdaq does seem to get spikes in volatility, especially during London session, especially during the past few weeks, because we are seeing that type of volatility in the Nasdaq, to where if for some reason we just break through, this could get us triggered into a short, and then we look for continuation down. And so that's from the short side, right? And then essentially you do the exact opposite for the long side. Maybe we're looking to use a buy limit, right? So a buy limit down here at this area of support, saying, between now and tomorrow, maybe the Nasdaq could sell off. This would trigger me into a long position. I could have a stop loss maybe somewhere down below. That's kind of a wide stop loss. That's kind of on the wider stop loss. Maybe we could look for, something like that, or even tighter, just depending on where you're looking at this type of a market, and look for us to get back and rotate towards the high of this consolidation. And it's basically playing a consolidation type strategy going into tonight. If market sells off, we get down to the 441. I will get triggered into a long. There's my stop loss at 414 and my take profit back up to the area of this resistance level. Buy low, sell high in this range bound, support and resistance. Now this works until it doesn't, right? Because this is a limit order. If we have a break or a push in volatility, it'll get triggered us out. And so that's why I like a better than a 2-to-1 risk reward, which, this tends to be a good risk reward when I'm using limit orders close to a support and resistance, quote unquote, cheap trade. But then the odds are, you're going to lose this a lot more than you win it, because you're getting in as the market's going against the direction that you want it to go. And that's why I like using stop orders, because you're getting in as the market's going in your favor, or as the direction the market is going is the market that you're wanting to get triggered in as it's going in your favor. Now, I know that's a lot. I talk about that not in detail every single night, but I do talk about it most nights, and I'm starting to talk about it more, less about the statistics side, and looking for trades that are more catered to the slow markets, because these markets are not as crazy, and it's starting to get it's hard to say these markets are getting normal, because they're far from normal, right? And there's crude oil. Crude oil, 68.70. So I could show you what a buy stop is. You guys want to see what a buy stop? A buy stop would be this. We're going to look for a break. So a buy stop one would be if we break out, I would get triggered into a long, and I would look to take profit at 69. That would be a decent buy stop. If we break above this, then I take profit at 69 and a stop loss somewhere down below that. That's another good example. Ooh, I don't want to hold any trades. I'm not seeing anything too enticing for me. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything too great, guys. I think the best play. Ooh, Nikkei's starting to push to the long side. I think for me, what I'm wanting to do in myself is just going to wait until tomorrow. Friday was pretty crazy, and I think tomorrow is going to be the best thing. Just see how the market does tonight. Go into tomorrow, and so no trades for me, and that's just my preference. Let's see how this market reacts tomorrow after that big sell-off. And so be it. We'll see. Any more questions? I'm going to pull up one trader statistics, and we will go from there. Man, it's hard. If you don't have Topstep X, it's hard for me to review your statistics. I know you want to share them. Let me see if I can. I'll try. Like, it's very hard for me to review this. This is kind of just a screenshot. You know who you are on this one. Man, I can't even. There you go. That is a little bit better. It's hard because this dashboard doesn't give you as much as like the Topstep X statistics. But yeah, I feel like I could go through this. Your best day, $160. Worst day is $60. So that is, a 3-to-1 risk reward, a pretty close, 2.8 risk reward on your best and worst day. A 2-to-1 on your average days, right? And so that's nice. But look how consistent this is. It's nice to see this consistency. You can see where you're starting off at 0, and this is dailies. So each one of these dots is a day. So you've been in this account, it looks like, for 34, 33 days. So I love to see that type of consistency. There's not much else, right? You know what I like about this, actually? You don't care about getting that $200 a day. I like that to an extent because it looks like you're focusing process over profits. So could this be one where, hey, I don't really care about the $200 right now. I just want to focus on my process. And then you could slowly grow your account, and then maybe you want to size up, and then you will eventually be hitting that $200 a day consistently, right? I don't know what this is on a daily basis, but it looks like on average, maybe $51. And so, yeah, that's consistency. You could see where, you could basically scale up, and with that same consistency, you'll do good. So I love seeing that consistency. So big shout out to you from the idea that you are very consistent. Let's look at one more before we finish it up. Let's go through. Man, not a lot of you guys have submitted. You know what's nice? Topstep during the daytime, like shoulder tap, they've been doing this. I'm going to do this as well. Like I said, I am doing a takeover on the 11th, 12th, and 13th. I'm going to be having like Rips, Nick for a Tick, D, Coach J joining me. That's going to be fun. It's just going to be two of us. Like I said, it's going to be me. It's going to, no promises. It's not going to be as amazing as what the production has been able to do during the day show, but it's still going to be up there. I'm going to do my best. It's going to be fun, and I will be having like shoulder tap, and I'll review statistics, and so I'm kind of excited, really. And I don't get nervous over a lot of things, but this is one of those things where it's like, how's it going to be? Traders are going to watch everything, and you are going to get to see the good, the bad, and the ugly. And what I mean by the ugly is you're going to see everything. I get traders ask me, like, I see how you trade during fast markets, but how do you trade off screen? I make profit on fast markets. I make profit and losses when I'm not on screen. And sometimes it's pretty difficult to trade live in front of everybody, especially when you're trying to answer questions. You have even 10 times that when you're hosting it. So we'll see how it goes. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to jump into micros to start it off on the first day. Maybe we could work with Nick for a Tick or Rips and them and see if possibly we could get the blessing to trade a house account trade, and I don't know, go from there. Are you doing bell to bell those 3 days? Yeah, all 3 days. It's going to be from start to finish. We'll be doing opening call like Eddie and Hogue does, and I'm going all the way till market closes. So I'm doing that. It's going to be fun. We'll see if I'm burnt out or not. I don't think I'm going to be burnt out because I watch the markets all day, every day anyway. I think it's just going to be me sitting here. I have it set up so where I could take breaks and, having somebody there to chat with, like, Jay, Robert, D, Nick for a Tick, Rips, is going to be very, very nice. So it's not all just me talking to myself. It is a lot for me to do by myself, but I got it. I mean, I love the challenge. There's really nothing you can't do if you put your mind to it. And I'm ready. I'm ready to do it. We'll see how it goes. I'm excited, and I think it's going to be great. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of talking. Yeah, I'm going to definitely need to stay hydrated, always have water with me, and yeah, we'll see. Anyway, all of that being said, I'm going to end it now. Stay tuned. Tomorrow morning, it's going to be a fun one. Don't miss if the market's... Yeah, we could play some live chess. If you got Coach Robert, or I don't know, who else plays chess? I am a big chess player. I was watching Magnus Carlsen. They're having that beautiful tournament that's going on over the weekend. Magnus Carlsen's just destroying it. But I don't think we could play chess on stream, Coach J. I don't know. Will they say? Will they allow us to play a couple games of chess while we are watching the markets? I don't know about that. Maybe we can. Maybe we can. There's Danielle. Danielle, I'm going to have to ask. Yeah, maybe we can. Maybe we could get that. I don't know, man. No, I'm not going in that route. Because that's true trading, guys. It really is. Everybody, that is true trading. You don't trade every single minute, every single hour. You're not always in a trade. There's the majority of the time, I'm sitting here watching Topstep TV. I'm sitting here doing other things, taking care of other responsibilities, maybe watching a movie, maybe planning a few things, getting some work done. And yeah, playing a chess game is something I also do, where I would have the markets, like I would have the markets up. I sitting here, and there's a lot of times where I say I have the markets on this screen and I have chess up on my phone, and you guys could see where I would be playing chess, right? Like there's chess, and I'd sit here and I'll play chess and I'll wait for the markets to set up rather than force a trade. And I think we see it all the time. And I'm sure everybody here has felt the same thing, because when you have the markets open, it's really easy to convince yourself to get into a trade because, FOMO, XYZ, whatever, you watch the markets, you want to trade, because that's our instinct as traders. That's just the way we feel. We're seeing markets trading. So finding a way to, fight that urge. And to me, it's chess. It's chess. It's taking care of the people in Discord and all the traders, to taking care of and focusing on helping traders. It has helped me a lot from not forcing trades, just waiting for the market to come to me. And remember, trading is optional. It is. And if we were to sit here and trade exactly the way that I like to trade, you would be very bored. Everyone would be bored. And there's going to be days where I wouldn't even take a trade. And, I don't want that to be the case, because, you guys and everybody in the chat watching us trade, watching me trade in front is very important. Hopefully it allows you guys to ask those questions and to learn and see the good, the bad, and the ugly. So, yep, I will be on Fast Markets, and it will be tomorrow morning, me and I believe Nick for a tick. Other than that, it's going to be a good week, and I will see you guys bright and early in the morning or tomorrow afternoon. Take care.